Hello book lovers, welcome to another exciting episode of Book Review with Shalom, a place where you dive into the world of books, thoughts and ideas. On this episode we have a guest in the house. He is the CEO for Glit Publishing Company. He is also the founder of Truth Unveiled Ministry. He's a man of impact and he has spoken on the area of education. He is a learned person who has written a lot of books. Recently he wrote Common Stories in Africa, Pastors, the Helpers of Your Joy, and also The Believer's Love Walk. We have Pastor Patrick Michael in the house. Pastor Patrick, it's nice having you on the show today.
Thank you so much.
All right, we have heard a lot about you and how you love books and how you promote the reading culture within your association and even the society. So I find out that a lot of times we have people who have issues understanding what books are. Some people have said books are just documents, and some people say books are just things we do for reading is something we do during our leisure time. What, in your definition, do you say books are?
Well, the truth is that other people even see books as products.
Actually,
see book as products. They want to put out something. I had a call one time from a friend in UK, and he says to me, he's a man of God, I want to publish a book because I saw the kind of honor, the kind of reception that an author or authors received while in the airport in the Western world.
Wow.
So that was the person's motive for wanting to go into the publishing world, being an author. So that person sees it as, a product that he can use to probably market himself to get a kind of self-worth or importance among people. But books are more than that.
Yeah,
they are more than that. I've talked to a lot of people since I'm in the publishing field, and many of them just ask you, can I make money with this? That tells you what they see books are. But books are weapons. They are weapons, and books helps to establish your authority.
Wow.
In a certain line.
Wow.
I always say to people that the field that we are in, that is my field of both authorship and publishing, is a field for professionals. You don't just find anyhow person just stand up to write book. Of course, there are authors that are writers. Two of them are two different people.
Wow.
But every author.
Wait. I think I need to get this point. I'm lost. There are authors, there are writers.
Of course.
Wow, I've never really thought of this. Okay, so maybe when you're done with book you can shed more light, because I'm really amazed.
Of course. Well, so that not to digress.
Yes, sir.
So authors are people who have certain knowledge in certain areas. So like I said, it's a weapon and it helps to establish your authority in a particular line. So you speak about something that must have been an experience, something that has become an experiential knowledge to you, something that you are very exposed to, something that you can impact to somebody to bring about either a mind shift, a mind impact to help the person see what you're saying and possibly do what you two have done and even better. So books are more than product, and people should stop seeing it as a product to just want to make money with.
Talking about this, I remember telling one of my videos where I told people, I said, when somebody writes a book, now you've spoken about authors and you've also spoken about writers, and I'm saying it from the perspective that authors write out of not just experience. Authors are trying to pass a message. They're trying to either ignite a fire. There's something they're trying to deliver to people. And you are not just a writer, you're also an author, and you have succeeded in the publishing world. You're a businessman and you're also a pastor. How has reading impacted you in your world of business?
Well, I'm a product of healthy influence of books. Before I used to say just a product of influence, but we need to differentiate it because there are healthy and there are unhealthy influence. So I'm a product of books. Of course, I've read and I'm still reading. Yeah. Because you never stop learning, and to have more capacity to do more things, to see more, you need to keep reading, keep learning from people who have gone ahead. So reading, I would say, books, healthy books, are the reasons why I am where I am, and I've always said it that I'm nowhere yet, because there are more things that I've seen that I've not scratched the surface yet. So I'm a person that have unquenchable thirst for knowledge, healthy knowledge. I read, I watch. That's what I always say. I read and I watch the people who have written those things down to follow them. Like that. You see, an author will not be able to be where you are while reading his book, either on the plane, in the bus, or probably even in the ship, for you to explain the real reason, the real motive for putting down such a material. But as you read, it helps you to come into their world of experience, a bit of experience that they have. And if you have the privilege to go a step further, to have a contact with them, either with the digital world today, technology have made everything so easy. You can have a relationship with the person in America while still in Nigeria. If they have businesses, they have companies, they have things they do, they have shows they speak in. When you listen to them, you get to see more reasons, more intent, more motive behind what they wrote and why this person has this kind of mindset. So that is why I say this with all sense of humility, that a lot of people who watch authors, right, and they follow them, tend to have more success than people who just read only their books. If you follow them closely, you get to learn more. So reading for me has been the thing and will continually be being the thing. It has helped me have a mind shift.
Now that you've said it, I think a lot of people believe that mentorship, right, cannot go even into books. They believe that a person cannot mentor you, but you've also added the fact that despite the fact that we read these people's book, we should also follow them up. We should also look at them. So in a society where you have people who don't even read, I feel a person conveys more message in his book. Sometimes he has seminars and he sees a little, but he has time to write and to pour out everything inside the book. And then we have people who follow you, say, I'm your mentor, or this person is his mentor, and this person has no relationship reading this person's book. Do you think there's a possibility of anybody mentoring you and has a book and you've not read any of your mentor's book?
Well, it's almost not possible, because I'll say it this way. If you think I speak well or think I know anything, then try my books. You will know that you don't really know me the way you should know me. If you tap into my books, you get to realize that I express myself more and I say more things in writing than I do while just speaking, even randomly, even in an interview like this. So it is very, very, it is impossible to say that you are following up a person and then you hear whatever the person is saying and then you don't tap into their books. That will be selective followership. And that selective followership and mentorship system that the younger generation want to be able to kind of innovate. That's what we try to do today in our world. We, the young people, we try to innovate a style of mentorship that we think this is how I should be mentored. No, that is not how you should be mentored. So we have what I also call selective either obedience or followership. It shouldn't be like that. If you say a person is your mentor, you don't just watch the person. If the person has TV shows or whatever, you read their materials. And reading is such a great discipline. Reading helps achieve mind share. Mind share. And mind share is what salespeople do in business. Every salesperson that tries to sell his product to you is doing what is called mind share. That is, you see, for example, our company, every week we have about 1,000 customers, over 1,000 customers in our space. Then we have 900 of those customers every week receiving message from our company Mondays and Fridays. What we are trying to do is trying to do mind share, meaning that you have bought from us or that you have published a book doesn't mean that you always do. We have to keep you like close to us to say we are here. So that is mind share. So we are always at your face. So the same thing with books also. So if you keep reading that person's book, you get to the place where the person shares his mind. You begin to, in fact, carry that person's mind. And those things that looks like roadblocks, like impossibilities, you just see them as nothing because you're going to have a serious mind shift.
You are not just a business person, you're a pastor. And that's, you are also a leader. So how does reading or how does book influence your business and your leadership skills? How do they come along? Do they contribute anything to that thing entirely?
It contributes everything. For example, my administrative skill is not automatic. I can say it And I don't just say it because I always say that testimonies are not better heard from your mouth. They are heard from the mouth of people around you.
Yeah.
Your leadership skill and your administrative skill. I can dare say that there are a number of young people that if they have the responsibility that is on my head, both from ministry to business to family, they may not be able to cope. And that is not because they shouldn't be able to cope. That's because they don't have capacity to cope. And capacity to cope comes from the reading. You enlarge your capacity.
Yeah.
Administrative skills. It helps you to be able to see how you can do multiple things without actually failing in them. So people talk about structure, order. Structure and order comes from capacity. You have capacity to bring about structure and order in whatever you're doing. So reading is it for me from beginning to the end. Before I started reading business book, I read books and I've watched people ministry. I've read how they did things, both administratively, skill-wise, and even how they integrated business into their ministry. And it has been awesome.
Talking about staying relevant in the world of either ministry, either business, because we can't separate you from either of them. Does reading help you to stay competitive? Because most times I feel like a lot of us, we think that we only read. The problem is we read, but we don't put those things into practice. So you have a world where there are lots of publishers everywhere. When it comes to ministry, we have a lot of ministries to the glory of God. How does your reading culture help you to stay competitive in the line of business for you?
Well, again, I'll keep saying it again, it's everything to me. And every single day okay, let me rephrase that. Most of the days in a week, you find me spend 3 to 4 hours of investing knowledge in my business line. And you will see me doing the same also in ministry, because I have a responsibility both to the people of God and also have a responsibility towards business to keep the business scalable. There are many people doing business. The time they get to realize that they have not been doing anything is when they get before investors. And a lot of young people have this thing that they see whatever they are doing like is the best in the world.
Actually.
And they don't really have anything to compare it with. So when you now get to the front of any person that you think is a potential investor and you begin to talk those ambitious speech. I used to watch it and I laugh. My business is doing this millions in turnover, stuff like that, and I'm looking for 100 million naira, investment, equity investment for this and for that. Now, when the investors start, you see a lot of those people, they look humble because they're in front of billionaires, they can't really do anything. Right? But the truth is that many of them get disappointed, they begin to hate themselves, they feel like that person doesn't really know what they carry. And then they'll say, I have potentials if you can do this. Even Nigeria has potential. But you don't see investors everywhere in Nigeria.
Actually.
They go to where things are working. So reading, how it impacts both what I'm doing in terms of ministry and in terms of business, I still repeat, is everything. I rub minds. And that's why I rub mind with people who have gone ahead. Healthy minds. People who are into business practically. People who have even left legacies. They have left legacies that, man, it's going to take a long time for some people to catch up with those legacies.
Yes.
But I hear them. I watch them because I want to retire before the time most of them retire. That's my goal. I watched Robert Kiyosaki said he wanted to retire at the age of between 30 and 34, and he did that. He has not been working for many years. And I want to do that. I want to be able to retire before any of them even retire like that. So from what? And it's possible because I've tapped into their world and I'm still in their world. I'm among Robert Kiyosaki mentorship team. And I remember receiving 20 solid books from them directly.
Wow.
20 solid books.
Wow.
Directly. You see, there are many things that I don't say because of the mindset of our people. The mindset of our people is such that if you say some of the things that you have really handled and places that you have
think
really,
it's pride.
Exactly. But then, like I always say, who put the measurement for what is pride, or what is either boasting, or what is actually confidence? Nothing. Some people just get angry. I did a video that I said people should evolve, and I said there are people that think they know you and they expect you to talk a particular way, think a particular way, do things a particular way, be where they are. If you don't do all of those things, then they say, probably you are now proud or something like that. It is not. And that is why I don't have a problem with that, but it's just an advice to anybody who is afraid of being himself because people think you are proud. Well, decide whether you want to stay mediocre or you want to go head on. It's your own decision to make, because people will keep having a version of you that they want to have.
And most people wait for recommendation. They want everybody around them to.
Of course. It's not worth it.
Yes.
It's not worth it. Allow them. In time. This is it. I always say something, right? There is something about knowledge. Knowledge comes with faith. If you don't have faith, you will not be impacted with knowledge. For example, whatever I read in the books of those people that I used to apply for business that eventually work out, I didn't know it will actually work out the way it worked out for them. And even them too, it wasn't first something that they wrote in books. It was something probably that they had as thought. They brooded over it, they meditated over it, and then they choose to take a bold step to practice those things. Eventually, it turned out the way they probably either assumed or hoped for. So knowledge and faith goes together. You have to believe something. So whatever I'm doing right, whatever I did with those knowledge that I got from those people, and whatever I'm doing right now, it's all a system of faith. So people in time, with time, they will catch up. So you don't have to be the teacher to everybody.
I think this got to be, because sometimes when you want to start maybe a business or something, most especially within Nigeria where you are, we're waiting for approval from a lot of people. We're trying to see how people will think, yes, this thing you're about to do is going to move on. But just like you've said, I've seen from books where these people who mentor us now just took a bold step. I think I read how the best leaders lead, and Brian Tracy was saying something. He said leaders have audacity. That is one of the criteria of a leader. So if you are a reader, you must understand that audacity is something. You must be bold enough to take a step. You must be bold enough to make that decision. That brings me back to, which book do you think, what are the books that you have read so far that have made a lot of impact in your business and probably ministry and any area of your life? Can you just give us any books you've read that you would recommend to anybody watching this video?
I will be honest and sincere about this question.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I know that it was going to come, and then I asked myself, which book particularly should I recommend? And that is what the conclusion I arrived at is exactly what I would say.
All right.
I will not mention a particular book.
All right.
I will not mention a particular author in no special order, but I'm going to mention books and authors that, okay, I will use this. I'll use Proverbs. I'll use the Bible. Proverbs 12, verse 1 is a verse of scripture that has really helped me. It says, whosoever loves instruction loves knowledge.
Yeah.
So what I got literally from that is that if you're looking for knowledge, you know where to get it. You see books that have to do with entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Books that have to do with business itself. Books that have to do with finances, understanding finance. I can tell you, I did a survey, last week. And that survey was central around how daily operations, how easy it is to run daily operations in the company. And one of the things that stood out in that survey is that how do you structure your finances? That is a difficulty for many people. It looks simple, but it's really a difficulty. That is why people don't really scale in business. They don't know how to structure finance. So books that have to do with entrepreneurship, book that have to do with business itself, book that has to do with finance, and book that has to do with leadership. And these authors, in no particular order: Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump himself, the president of president of America. You have Sam Adeyemi. Is somebody also I recommend along that line. So Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, Sam Adeyemi is somebody, Reverend Sam Adeyemi. I recommend these people, and the reason why I will not mention any of their titles is because if you really want to catch up, you don't just read one of their materials. Look for the material. Sam Adeyemi on leadership is going to change your world of both business or ministry or whatever leadership. And Sam Adeyemi always tell you that everybody is a potential leader. Everybody's leading one way or the other. If you read people like that, Donald Trump, I've watched some Donald Trump interview that were done 1980, and he has been a millionaire in dollars since that time. And he has maintained that, and I've followed him. I don't know how other people do, but I follow the White House very closely. I follow Donald Trump. I don't even know about some of the policies. But you see his businesses, I followed very carefully. I follow Robert Kiyosaki very closely to understand money and how money works. And I can tell you for sure, they have impacted me. So I deliberately, if you allow me, I honestly would not want to mention a particular.
You don't want to be biased. So
exactly, I don't want to be. So I would like anybody that is so serious. These people have given you, follow them. I'm not mentioning a book now, but Sam Ademi just released a new book. That's to do with the mind.
A new book.
Exactly, a new book that's to do with the mind. He did a conference in Eco Hotel and Suit in
I think I saw that.
Lagos. So those are people to listen to. They understand entrepreneurship, finance, leadership, and business itself. I'm telling you, if you follow them and start following some quacks.
Thank you so much, sir. Really so lastly, what can you say to a young entrepreneur out there who has started a business or who is trusting God to start a business? What advice would you want to give them?
Well, that advice is both to the person and both to me, because I'm speaking to two people at the same time, speaking to whoever is watching and speaking to myself. What I will say to myself, right? Keep learning and don't be. Now, I said something earlier. Who set the measurement for what is pride or boasting or confidence, right? Be humble in your pursuit of knowledge when it comes to business. Business is not sprint; it is marathon. It is marathon. So you are going to build that legacy for a long time. If you are too much in a hurry to want to, give social proof to people, you are going to cause a disaster to yourself that not many people have the courage and energy to bounce back and do the right thing. Because a lot of people, when they fall back, they begin to hate on themselves, beat themselves, curse themselves, and eventually they get into that failure trauma. So not to do that. Keep learning and learning healthily. Follow people that matter. Yeah. I will quote a word lastly from Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, don't look to a mentor that is in America. Look to your neighbor that is doing well, better than you, and ask the neighbor, how is he doing it? If you have people, I know a lot of people,
I think I should write it down,
that they are supposed to actually be learning from some people, but they are not, because that is now where the pride comes in.
Yeah,
exactly. That's where the pride comes. Exactly. So keep learning, open your mind, be humble, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Pastor Patrick. It's an honor. It's really an honor. I think I've learned a lot, and I believe that our viewers have learned so much from this interview. Remember that Pastor Patrick is the CEO for Glit Publishing. You can come here for your web design. You can come here for your printing. He does amazing things. The background is covered by his work. Thank you so much for staying to Book Review with Shalom. Hope to see you on the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels at Book Review with Shalom. Follow us on Facebook or send us a message on Twitter with Book Review with Shalom. Bye for now.